It is 7 o'clock, and so now we're going to call this meeting to order on January 17th, 2022, City of Sault Ste. Marie City Commission. Roll call, please, Robin.
Mayor Gary, Commissioner Bauer,
Here.
Commissioner Vasquez-Rath, Commissioner Collins, Commissioner Miller, Commissioner Talentino,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Tory.
Here, thank you. So we did hear from Mayor Gary. He's traveling, and then also from Commissioner Vasquez-Rath. We still might get Commissioner Miller, but would anybody like to make a motion to excuse?
I'll move to excuse the three of them. Support.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Number 3. Pledge of Allegiance. Would everybody please stand who's able to? Thank you. Item number 4, Mayor comments and general announcements. We don't have any this week. Letter B, proclamations and recognitions. There are none this week. Letter C, public comment. Is there anybody in the audience who would like to make a comment on a regularly scheduled item? Okay, hearing none, we will move on to the consent agenda.
Under the consent agenda, 1, approval of the City Commission meeting minutes of January 3rd, 2022. Item 2 is reappointment of Darian Neveu to Construction Board of Appeals for a term set to expire June 30, 2026. Item 3, resignation of Mariah Goose from the Zoning Board of Appeals effective January 3rd, 2022. Item 4 is consideration to apply for an Eagle Scrap Tire Cleanup Grant. Item 5 is consideration for approving the fire department to apply for a AAA traffic safety grant funding in the amount of $15,000 to purchase updated Jaws of Life equipment. Item 6 is from the International 500 Project, authorization to sell liquor on city-owned property for the I-500 snowmobile race on Saturday, February, that should be 2022, for the annual I-500 race, subject to the rules of the Michigan Liquor Control Commission and any rules established by the city manager. Item 7 is approval of the consent agenda items as presented.
Okay, thank you, Robin. Does anybody have any questions or need any items removed for further explanation? No, hearing none. Commissioner Bauer.
So move that we accept and pass the consent agenda. Support.
All right, great. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bauer,
Yes.
Commissioner Collins,
Yes.
Commissioner Talentino,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Tory.
Yes. All right, thank you. Motion passes. Letter E, special orders of business. City manager.
Thank you, Commissioner Tory. Up first, commission discussion and possible approval is an amendment to the ordinance pertaining to the city's trash collection ordinances. Within the ordinance, there are some general updates to the size and type of materials that the container can be. As this is an update to an ordinance, we do have to hold a public hearing. And then at the close of that, if there's any other commissioner comments or questions, be happy to entertain them.
All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll hold the public meeting. So if anybody has any questions or comments, let us know. Okay, hearing none, we will close the public meeting. Commission, does anybody have any questions, concerns, comments? I think it's interesting that you guys didn't run across this when you amended all of the zoning ordinances.
I don't think we actually got to all the zoning ordinances, which is why, because this was one I think that was later on.
Okay, that makes sense, because I was thinking that last meeting, but I didn't make a comment, so. All right, Commissioner Talentino, would you like to make a motion?
Sure. Motion to approve the included ordinance as presented.
Thank you. Support?
Support.
Okay, roll call, please, Robin.
Commissioner Collins,
Yes.
Commissioner Talentino,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Twordy,
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer.
Yes.
Okay, next item is F, Communications. There are no items under that. And so item G is business items. Item number 1, City Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Tory. Up next for commission consideration is a request to suspend the competitive bid process for an agreement with Sea Reach Ltd. and approval of the purchase of 8 panels for the Power Canal Trail project. Sea Reach Ltd. is a subcontractor that we've used in the past and we'd like to continue to work with to make these signs all consistent throughout the area. So in order to do that, we would request a suspension of the competitive bid process for this particular purchase and a motion to purchase 8 panels in post for $11,295.
Okay, does anybody have any questions? Okay, there are 2 motions. Commissioner Collins.
I just want to make a comment first, though, that just so the audience does know that this is within the $50,000 budget that we actually had already approved for this line item.
Okay, thank you.
Motion 1, motion to suspend the competitive bid process for Sea Reach Ltd. due to the compatibility with current signage.
Support.
Okay, roll call, please, Robin.
Commissioner Talentino,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Twordy,
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer,
Yes.
Commissioner Collins.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Commissioner Collins.
Motion to purchase 8 panels in post for $11,295.
Support.
Okay, motion and support. Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Twordy,
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer,
Yes.
Commissioner Collins,
Yes.
Commissioner Talentino.
Yes.
Okay, item number 2.
Thank you, Commissioner Tory. Up next for commission
Yes.
consideration is a cleanup from a project from a number of years ago. The motion in front of you would close out a project and finish with the bills that we have related to the East Spruce Street Ashman project. The motion before you is to approve a final budget revision of $5,400 from road contingency fund and close out the budget, and close out the project.
Okay, thank you. Anybody have any questions or comments? Okay, Commissioner Bauer.
So move that we approve the final budget revision in the amount of $5,400 from the road contingency fund and close out this project as it is presented.
Support.
Okay, thank you. Motion and support. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bauer,
Yes.
Commissioner Collins,
Yes.
Commissioner Talentino,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Twordy.
Yes. Okay, item number 3, City Manager.
Thank you, Commissioner Tory. Up next for commission consideration is a request to approve a budget amendment of $9,200 related to the capital improvement project to replace guardrails throughout the city. We had a contract in place a while ago, and it's something that hasn't necessarily been maintained in terms of the guardrails after they've been hit. So we put together a contract and we put out, and we did receive some quotes for it. We thought at one point we were okay with the money, but we decided to tack on some more repairs near the end of it. So we would have to increase the budget to $9,200. So we look for a motion to approve the budget amendment, $9,200.
Does anybody have any questions? Okay, Commissioner Talentino.
Thank you. Approve the budget amendment, major and local street operational contract services to cover guardrail repairs for $9,200 in total.
Support.
Motion and support. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Collins,
Yes.
Commissioner Talentino,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Twordy,
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer.
Yes.
Item number 4, City Manager.
Thank you, Commissioner Tory. My computer just got an update. Up next for commission consideration is approval of the updated fee schedule to be utilized during the budget session or the budget process here in the next couple of months. Most of these fees will start July 1 if they're summer activities. Winter activities will start January 1, 2022. Yeah. In the item on the agenda, there's an attachment, user fees. If you look through it on the far side, any proposed change is designated with an X. Some of the areas that we're changing are the ambulance, car by dock, some of the fees in community development, various fees in the park system, and within our water department. So if there's any questions, we'd be happy to entertain them, but we look for a motion to approve the user fees as presented.
Does anybody have any questions? Go ahead, Commissioner Bauer.
Yeah, I was wondering specifically about the increase in fees for the community garden, as that looks like it's doubling under this new fee schedule. What the justification was for that? I mean, are we, yeah, just wondering what the justification is. Like, are we using more manpower on that, or water, or what?
It's water. It's mostly to cover the water for them. That's
Okay, it's a simple question. I mean, you get a simple answer.
Yeah, it's to cover the water bills more than anything. Yeah.
You never know how it's gonna go. No, seriously, I mean, if it doesn't rain, they're using water all over the
Right.
place.
Right. Yep.
Okay, that was my question.
Okay,
I was just curious.
okay. So it can just be one motion, you don't have to break them all down. Okay, Commissioner Collins.
Sorry.
You're fine.
I was gonna ask about the seasonal rates that are the Michigan State Harbor seasonal rates for the boat slips.
Yep.
So is this the actual one that the state of Michigan puts out? And is this comparable to what we were paying before, or charging before, I guess?
So the rate schedule is set up by the Michigan Waterways Commission. And within that system, there's a series of tiers, I guess you would call them. And I'm just trying to get down to the section, my computer's taking its time. There is a proposed rate increase from one tier to the next tier. So I believe it would be the next step up. So there is a slight increase in the cost for those slips.
Well, the reason I was asking is that when we were looking at raising the cost or prices last year, the bump up was like double the cost because of the tier that we were at before. We weren't actually following the rate sheet, we had our own setup.
Right.
So we had talked about basically incrementally moving it up over the years. Is that what we're doing?
Yes, this would be the incremental.
So we're not jumping 3 spaces, we're just going up to the next tier?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Whose turn is it? Commissioner Talentino, would you like to make a motion?
Sure. Motion to approve the user fee schedule for the fiscal year beginning July 1st of 2022 or January 1st, 2022 for summer season rates.
Support. May I also say that at $30, it's still a good deal.
Yeah, the community gardens are great.
Community garden.
Okay, motion and support, roll call please.
Commissioner Talentino,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Torti,
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer,
Yes.
Commissioner Collins.
Yes.
Okay, item number 5.
Thank you, Commissioner Torti. Up next for commission consideration is a request to enter into a one-year agreement with Kent Marina Operations with La Sue de Saint Marie Historic Sites. The city's had a long-term agreement that expired, and we've been kind of limped along on one-year increments ever since. If the commission at a certain point would like to see different options with the marina, we could probably do that. But at this time, I would recommend just one more approval of the agreement. So look for a motion to approve the agreement as presented.
Any questions? No one has any questions. Commissioner Collins, would you like to make that motion?
Yeah. I just actually want to make a comment though first, if that's okay.
Sure.
So I know that we've talked about whether or not we continue to have, the Historic Society run the marina and whether or not the city should take it over. Personally, I believe that we should leave it with them. I think they do a good job. The reason for that is my biggest concern is that if we're collecting the money and we're managing it, my concern would be that those funds start to go someplace else versus back into the marina. And that's what they do a really good job of, is making sure that the money goes back into the marina versus being able to use it someplace else. So anyways, just wanted to make that comment. So, motion to approve the agreement as presented.
Support.
Motion and support, roll call please.
Mayor Pro Tem Twardy?
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer?
Yes.
Commissioner Collins?
Yes.
Commissioner Talentino?
Yes.
Okay. Item H, city manager announcements and updates. Wow.
Thank you. Handful of these things in here for you. Bonnie must stir me up. First and foremost, the election deadline for the 4 potential commission seats, 1 being the mayor, 3 being city commissioners. Deadline is Tuesday, April 19th, 2022. So anybody that's in the dais right now, make sure you get your paperwork in there, and anybody in the public can pick it up at City Hall. Next in the announcements is the Retirement Systems Annual Reports form that provides you with an overview of where the pension funding status is. We've also got the budget preparation schedule in there. There's some key dates in there. I can't pull them up right now because my computer's not loading. But take a look at them. There's the schedule for the public, or the budget meetings, when the budget will be first presented to you all. So make sure you put those on your calendar. Next thing we have on here is our 3rd quarterly reporting for staff and the fire chief, from the fire chief. We're still a few down in the fire department. We did have 1 new hire. We started beginning of January. Seems to be working out well. There'll be a couple of items in the next agenda coming before the commission for approval, kind of related to this. One of them being a grant to the Department of Treasury for some recruitment efforts between the police department and the fire department. They got a big pot of money that municipalities can draw from, and if we're awarded, we got some ideas in there, but we're fleshing those out before we present those to you. And then last but not least, I gotta get it in here. Started communicating some goal setting topics with you all. We'll set a date probably near the end of February. We just gotta schedule that out. I got the time frames that work for you all. There's a questionnaire that I sent to you all this evening as well. So take a look at it, get it done, hopefully in the next couple of weeks here, and that'll help out our goal setting session. And then, just as a note, I'll be taking a vacation day on February 18th, so.
Okay, great. Does anybody have any questions about his announcements? Go ahead, Commissioner Collins.
So the only date that we have to put on our calendar is the 5:30 on the 21st, is that correct? The first one?
That's the first budget hearing or budget session, yes. And I'll make sure to get the rest on your calendars as well. Yeah, the rest are during normal scheduled meetings. So there's the public hearing or the budget workshop, and then the following week there's a reconciliation of the budget if needed.
Gotcha, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Okay, no other questions? Okay, moving on, and matters presented by the public, and not to put you on the spot, but I do see our DDA Director, Tony Cutler, who's joined our meeting, and so I'm wondering if you'd like to come up to the microphone and let us know what's happening in the DDA. Come on up.
Is this on? Well, our fire chief is here, and I would like everyone to thank him for operating our anchor this year. He did not know what he was getting himself in for. But we really appreciate that. It was a huge success. We are, I think, having a lot of fun in the DDA right now. We had a nice promotions meeting, an hour-long meeting that went 2.5 hours, so that was very good. Just kidding, we actually had a lot of fun with that. We're coming up with ideas, and we're going to make some changes the way we do things so that things run more smoothly. So if you're in this room or watching or listening or coming back later, we're going to need champions for events. So if you want to see events happen in the downtown in compliance with the MADC guidelines, we're going to need people to champion those events. do work plans and come up with a strategy to make those events successful. So those are gonna be things that we're gonna be looking for changes. We might get a little pushback, when we do things differently, but our goal is to make sure that we bring events to the Sioux and to downtown that are operated correctly, run smoothly, and things like that. Our pub crawl is our next event that's coming up. We're gonna have t-shirts available for sale and a little memento downtown shot glass necklace. I hate to say that in public, but that's what it is. It'll be kind of neat. That lights up. So some ways to really draw some attention to that and show people, because it's going to be cold outside. You probably won't see the t-shirt, but you'll see the little blue lights flashing. So there's some good things like that coming, and like I said, we invite people to come to our meeting on the second Wednesday at 8 o'clock in the morning, or come to the office. The office has been repainted, redone, ready for visitors if I'm there. I spend a lot of time out talking to people, so I'm not always in the office, but we do have a lot of good things happening in the Sioux, and we're going to continue to build on that. But Madam Mayor, Pro Tem, I'll take any questions if you want, if anybody has any questions about TDA.
No specific questions. Does anybody else have any questions for him? I'm really happy to have you on board. Yeah, I've known you for years, and you do not let things just fall by the wayside. So
We're having fun.
thank you very much.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And our fire chief, he does wear many hats in town. And so thank you very much for operating the crane for the anchor drop. I heard that people really enjoyed the anchor
Yeah.
and not to go back to the ball, but that's just what I'm hearing, so.
It was pretty neat because we had a family from Engadine that was walking around with their kids saying, we heard about the anchor, so we came over a week early and said, well, it's 8 o'clock, you got a couple hours. But, so it was drawing some attention, and I did hear a lot of people say, it's an anchor, it's an anchor. So it was, the buzz part of it was successful, I think, and we'll continue to grow on that. We've already got ideas for next year to make it
Excellent.
bigger, so very good.
Excellent, all right, thank you, Tony. Is there anybody else in the public who would like to come up and make a comment? Okay, hearing none. City Commission? No comments tonight? Gosh, 23 minutes? I will say, I believe that the locks are officially closed. Did the last ship make its way through? Because I know that they were stacked up there for quite a bit. So we won't be hearing any boat horns for a couple of months here. I know it's always the first sign of spring, March 22nd, right, when they open back up. So that's always a really nice noise to hear. But so let's hope that the Corps of Engineers has a nice, safe winter, and that they get all of their maintenance done. Is there anything else tonight? Nobody else has any? Yes, go ahead, Commissioner.
I believe all of our winter activities are open, are they not?
Oh,
They are.
Okay, Kane's Rink, I believe, is open. I'll
Yeah, they are.
let the city manager take a quick hit on that.
Kane's Rink is open. The public can call the customer service reps and reserve a time there. The Sled Hill, it's called Ski Hill. Sled Hill is open up. Those run Thursday through Sunday. Thursday, Fridays are 4 to 8, and Saturday and Sundays 1 to 8. Yeah, 1 to 8. So, yep, the Polars still got available ice. There's still community skating going on the weekends there too. So, all of our winter activities are in full force.
okay, excellent, yeah. All right, if there's nothing else, then Commissioner Bauer, would you like to make a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn this morning.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.